Good morning, Saline. We love you very, very, very much. There's not many places you could come on this beautiful day, and the people up here on the hill just want to let you know they love you very much, okay? Would you please give them a hand, because they do. Thank you for all you do and who you are. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 26th American Legion William B. Lutz Oakwood Cemetery Veterans Ceremony. We are very proud to be here today with you, standing in front of our city's 3 veterans memorials on this day of honor and remembrance. And no matter what the war resembling, most of these warriors were young men and women from Saline, nearby towns, farms, and cities who had promise in their life, aspirations. They had dreams, but it was not to be because of the wars. They sacrificed their lives, their health, and future so that we, as Americans, can live our lives as we want and need to. To honor their sacrifice, all of us have an obligation to preserve our freedoms and to never forget them, please. Mr. Reed, please have the band play America, sir. It is with great pride now that I introduce our city's mayor, Ryan Morrill. Mr. Mayor, sir, it's all yours.
Thank you. I appreciate the introduction, Tim, and my colleagues and I also thank you for your continued service to our community. To our Grand Marshal, County Prosecutor, City Council, distinguished guests, and my fellow citizens. Friends, as always, it is a great privilege and honor to share remarks at Saline's Memorial Day program. I want to thank each of you for your attendance this morning. Of equal importance, let me thank our American Legion Post and all the individuals and groups who have contributed to make today's festivities a success. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our first responders, many of whom are with us this morning, including the Saline Police and Fire Departments, along with EMS. Please join me in giving them a warm round of applause. In September 1990, a relatively young and somewhat obscure documentarian by the name of Ken Burns released his masterpiece anthology miniseries on PBS entitled The Civil War. More than 39 million viewers tuned in to at least one episode, making it to date the most watched program ever to air on PBS. Everyone from scholars and academics to average Americans tuned in. Even the president at the time, George Herbert Walker Bush, was an enthusiastic viewer. As Slate magazine reminds us, some approximately 40 million Americans chose to forego Cheers, Roseanne, The Wonder Years, America's Funniest Home Videos, for a PBS documentary featuring nothing more than old photographs, footage of empty battlefields, and talking heads they likely never have heard of. As ratings for this 9-part series, totaling 11 hours and 30 minutes, soared, George Will, the famous conservative writer and political commentator, stated that Ken Burns' Civil War was, and I quote, "a masterpiece of national memory. Our Iliad has found its Homer." He added, and I quote, "Burns has made accessible to everyone the pain and poetry and meaning of the event that is the hinge of our history." The hinge of our history. I would add, next to the Revolution and the Constitutional Convention, it is the most seminal moment in the history of our republic. And with all due respect, my friends, regardless of what any reprobate or incorrigible might tell you, the American Civil War is predicated on the issue of slavery. Whether this nation would exist half slave and half free, and whether that supposition, was an acceptable excuse for the dissolution of our nation. Today we know those pernicious beliefs are not only wrong-headed, they're immoral. But back now to Ken Burns' Civil War. One of the most compelling and memorable anecdotes to be featured in his documentary appears at the end of episode 1, and it is commonly referred to as the Sullivan-Ballou or Dear Sarah letter. Let me set this up for you. A Sullivan-Ballou, spelled B-A-L-L-O-U, quite a distinct last name, was born to a distinguished family of French Huguenot ancestry in Smithfield, Rhode Island in 1822. He attended elite boarding schools, graduated from Brown University, and was admitted to the bar in 1853. He married his wife, Sarah Hart Shumway, in September 1855, and together they had 2 sons, Edgar and William. Sullivan-Ballou was active in public affairs. He was elected to the Rhode Island State House of Representatives and served as both clerk and speaker of the House. He was a stout opponent of slavery and the power of the slave lobby. He was an ardent admirer of President Abraham Lincoln. Undoubtedly, my friends, he could have used his influence and prestige to avoid military service. He did not. And when hostilities commenced at the beginning of the American Civil War, he volunteered for the 2nd Rhode Island Infantry and was commissioned major, 3rd in command. As Major Ballou prepared for additional hostilities, specifically the Battle of the First Bull Run, he wrote his wife Sarah a now famous letter. The prose contained herein is both eloquent, poignant, and genuine. I will not read the letter in its totality, only a few sections. However, as you reflect on the purpose and meaning of Memorial Day, I encourage each of you to review the entire letter. It is readily available online. Now the letter. July the 14th, 1861, Washington, D.C. My very dear Sarah, the indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Lest I should be able to write you again, I feel impelled to write lines that may fall under your eyes when I shall be no more. Our movement may be one of a few days' duration and full of pleasure, and it may be one of severe conflict and death to me. Not my will, but, O God, be done. If it is necessary that I shall fall on the battlefield for this country, I am ready. I have no misgivings about or lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how strongly American civilization now leans upon the triumph of the government, and how great a debt we owe to those who went before us through the blood and suffering of the Revolution. And I am willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life to maintain this government and pay that debt. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me to you with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence could break. And yet my love for country comes over me like a strong wind and bears me irresistibly on with these chains to the battlefield. But, oh, Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those I love, I shall always be near you, in the brightest day and the darkest night, amidst your happiest scenes and your gloomiest hours, always, always. And if there be a soft breeze upon your cheek, it shall be my breath, or the cool air that fans your throbbing temple, it shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me dead. Think I am gone, and wait for me, for we shall meet again. Sullivan Ballou died of injuries sustained in battle on February the 29th, 1861. He was 32 years of age at the time of his death. The letter mentioned above was subsequently found among his personal belongings. It is alleged that after he died, Ballou's remains were dug up by Confederates, his body decapitated, and corpse burned. No remains have ever been found. It took the personal intervention of the Rhode Island governor to retrieve Major Ballou's letter. Had it not been for those efforts, that letter may likely have been lost to the ages. I can't speak to anyone's motives, but perhaps, just perhaps, some wanted to erase Major Ballou's story and his now iconic letter. Thankfully, because of the efforts of a few, including, of course, Ken Burns, Sullivan Ballou's story and message, they live on. And his message is just as relevant today on Memorial Day 2026 as it was nearly 165 years ago. Sullivan Ballou believed in this country, so much that he sacrificed his life, his loves, passion, and future to ensure that our republic survived. Again, Major Ballou believed in this country, our country. The question for today, do you? Sullivan Ballou and millions of others have fought, sacrificed, and died for what many thought to be a temporal experiment in democracy. It may have been experimental, but temporal it was not. Our nation has lasted and endured through revolution, civil war, economic collapse, world wars, and racial segregation. During the course of our history, Americans have fought for a more just and humane world. At home, we've worked to ensure equality and opportunity for all. If you work hard and play by the rules, regardless of your background, you should have a shot at the American dream. In Major Ballou's honor and with deep appreciation for all who have served and sacrificed, our work must continue. Democratic societies and democratic norms need both attention and care. We must work to ensure that all Americans feel appreciated and valued. We must insist that our government representatives acknowledge that their power is derived from the people and that their primary focus is on the public's welfare. We must protect and preserve the rule of law and due process. We must fight for a growing economy, with opportunities for all, and we must leave our successors heirs a country that is coming together, not one that is being torn apart. For those who revere and study the American Civil War, again, the hinge of our history, you know we've been through difficult and trying times before. But the American way is that of the rising road, my friends. And I still believe that in America, the sun is rising, the hope still lingers, and that our best days are yet to come. As you reflect on Memorial Day, the selflessness and heroism of countless Americans, let's honor them by doing more. Let their contributions inspire and motivate us every day, not just on Memorial Day. Let me leave you today with two quotes. I've used both in the past, and I believe both are inextricably linked with my message this morning. The first is from former President Bill Clinton, and I'm particularly fond of this one. And I quote, "Let us have faith, American faith, that we're not leaving our greatness behind. We're going to carry it right along with us to a future of new challenges and unlimited promise. Let us, in short, do the work that is before us, so that when our time here is over, we will all watch the sun go down, as we all must, and say truly, we have prepared our children for the dawn." End of quote. And now to conclude, the rousing words of the late Senator John McCain. And I quote, "Fight for what's right for this country. Fight for the ideals and character of a free people. Fight for our children's future. Fight for justice and opportunity for all. Stand up and defend our country from its enemies. Stand up for each other, for a beautiful, blessed, and bountiful America. Stand up, stand up, stand up and fight. Nothing is inevitable here. We're Americans. We never give up. We never quit. We never hide from history. We make history. May God bless you and keep you all. May God bless our servicemen and women, active and retired, those no longer with us, and all those who keep us safe. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe that doesn't cover it. Thank you for being our mayor, and thank you for being amongst all of us. And now, our bands will now play America the Beautiful. I'd like to introduce our Saline American Legion Post 322. Commander Eric Engelmeyer, retired, United States Army. Sir.
Thank you, Tim, and good morning, everyone. You know, it looks like God's blessed us with a wonderful day today, and that's something to really be thankful for. Also, as we mourn those that made the ultimate sacrifice, a lot of people don't know it, but our namesake, William B. Lutz, is buried right over there under that tree. He lost his life on August 10th, 1918, just 3 months before World War I was over, due to German artillery fire in the hills of France. So we'd like to think about him today. That's one of the reasons why this flag is half-mast. It's also right now my pleasure to introduce a true warrior. He is the Grand Marshal of the parade today. He is a true warrior, a great friend, an infantryman that's Ranger qualified. Without further ado, Lieutenant Colonel Jason Dodd.
Good morning, neighbors, honored guests, and veterans. Thank you for gathering here today, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be a part of this ceremony and this parade. While I was preparing for this speech, I was reminded of a haunting and beautiful poem by Thomas O'Hara. It's called Bivouac of the Dead. It was written long ago, and it graces many of our national monuments. I'm going to read this first stanza for you because I think it's very fitting for the solemnity of this occasion. The muffled drum's sad roll has beat the soldier's last tattoo. No more on life's parade shall meet that brave and fallen few. On fame's eternal camping ground, their silent tents are spread, and glory guards with solemn round the bivouac of the dead. As all of you are gathered here today, you know in your hearts we're not here to celebrate the beginning of summer. We're not here to enjoy a long weekend, though we should. We are here to fulfill a sacred obligation. We're here to remember a stark and humbling truth, that the ground we stand on, the peace we enjoy, and the liberties we often take for granted were bought and paid for by the lives of ordinary people who did extraordinary things. Sorry. When you do these, you think about your friends. Just give me a moment. Since the founding of our nation, more than 1 million American men and women have given their lives in defense of our country. They came from big cities, small cities, everywhere in between. Mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, friends, brothers. They had dreams, they had plans, and they willingly laid their lives down on the altar of freedom, stepping forward because they believed in something greater than themselves. They fought in the mud of the Civil War, the trenches of Europe, the sands of the Pacific, the frozen mountains of Korea, the dense jungles of Vietnam, and the dusty deserts of the Middle East. And no matter where their battlefield was, they shared a single unifying trait, a selfless devotion to duty. Right here at Oakwood Cemetery, we are surrounded by that history. Etched into the stone of our local memorials are the names of Saline's own heroes, hometown citizens who left these peaceful Michigan landscapes behind to face the chaos of war, some never to return. Over 500 soldiers rest in this hallowed ground. And they are veterans of war spanning from the American Revolution to the present day. Veterans like Lieutenant Archibald Armstrong, who enlisted at 13 as a drummer boy and was present at the Battle of Saratoga and the Siege of Yorktown during the Revolutionary War. Or Army Corporal Russell Mahawkey, who was killed on May 24th, 1968 in a firefight in Vietnam, leaving behind friends, family, and a fiancée. That sacrifice from them and many others like them underpins our liberty. There may also be some surviving family members here today that truly understand that the weight of sacrifice does not end when the guns fall silent. It lives on in the homes of families who carry a quiet burden every single day. The empty chairs at the dinner table, the faded photographs on the mantle, the missed milestones. So then, what is our responsibility to the fallen? How do we honor debts that can never be repaid? We do it by what we're doing right now, by remembering, side by side, ensuring their names are spoken, their stories are told. And that true remembrance isn't just relegated to the last day of May, this day today. It must be a matter of action. Tomorrow, when the flags return to full staff and we go about our daily routines, we must strive to be citizens worthy of that sacrifice. We honor them by building a stronger community, a kinder town, and a more united nation. We honor them by protecting and enjoying the freedoms that they sacrificed for. Having been deployed quite a few times, oftentimes it gets a little macabre, and you'll sit around and you'll talk about what you want your friends to do if you don't make it home. A lot of times, that will boil down to some sort of grilled meat and adult beverages. But really, what's hidden in that message is they really want us to live our lives, the lives they no longer can live, to be with our friends, to be with our families, to toast their honor and pass their stories on to inspire our nation's greatest treasure, its young people, who someday may have to take up the burden to protect our freedoms. As we look across these hallowed grounds once more, I will close with one of the final stanzas of O'Hara's poem. Rest on, embalmed and sainted dead, dear as the blood you gave. No impious footstep shall here tread the herbage of your grave, nor shall your glory be forgot, or honor points, while fame her records keeps, or honor points the hallowed spot, where valor proudly sleeps. Proudly sleeps. God bless you, God bless our fallen heroes, and God bless America. Thank you.
And now I have to speak with some tears in my eyes. He's wonderful. Okay. Yeah, take a token.
That's you.
We'll now have the placing of the day's honored wreaths by the following honored guests who will place a wreath upon this monument to honor our departed comrades as a token of enduring memory. Sergeant of Arms, please escort Legionnaire Command Colonel Eric Engelmeyer, who will place a wreath upon this monument to honor our departed comrades as a token of enduring memory. Sir. Sergeant of Arms, please escort Saline's American Legion Post Auxiliary President, Kristen I, who will place a wreath upon this monument to honor our departed comrades as a token of our enduring memory. Sergeant of Arms, Charles S. Kettles, Chapter 310, past President Stan Harrison, will place a wreath upon this grave to honor our departed comrades. Russell McCaughey, the token of our enduring memory. Sergeant of Arms, please escort Cardinal O'Hara, Knights of Columbus, Council 6674, faithful navigator, David Fisk, who will place a wreath upon this monument to honor our departed comrades as a token of our enduring memory. These flowers will wither, but the spirit for which they are is a symbol that will endure until the end of time. Sergeant of Arms, salute the dead.
Shotgun, 10, hut! Ready? Aim! Fire! Fire! First, halt! Shotgun, 3, hut!
Band, please play the Star Spangled Banner. Special thank you to the combined bands of the Saline area schools. These young men and women always do an outstanding job for us. I'd like also to thank our United States Air Force's own Civil Air Patrol for coming here, marching with us. Thank you, Honor Guard. God bless them all. Aim high, everybody. I'd like to thank our honored guests, our hometown heroes, Saline Police, Fire, Rescue Squad, Public Works Department, and everyone in our family. We salute and honor you and your families in today's cemetery for being here. Honored guests, Saline City Council, Saline American Legion Post 322 in the Washington County Honor Guard, PVA Charles, S. Kettles Chapter 310, Cardinal O'Hara Assembly, 489 Knights of Columbus, Thank you all participants and residents of Saline for participating in our Memorial Day tribute. And on behalf of the Saline American Legion Commander, Colonel Eric Engelmeyer, we would like to invite you across the street to a hot dog lunch at no charge. Do I have any takers? Raise your hand. All right. We love our Saline American Legion Post 322. And thank you, everyone. And I will now give the closing prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this lovely day. And thank you for the camaraderie amongst all of us that are here today. And we just don't ever want to change, because I know in my hearts we are doing the right things as Americans, and we are doing the right things for each other, and of course for our country and our veterans. And it's just a time that we're going through that you have to draw closer. You really have to draw closer, and we can do it better than anybody. Thank you, and God bless you. Amen. This concludes our ceremony. But I've loved every moment, and I was looking for another few moments, but it's not there. But I will now get to be with you across the street having a hot dog, okay? Thank you very much. We love you. Amen.